Good morning, sports fans. This is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. And this morning, boys and girls, we're going to be building the CT Rattlin hollow bucktail. So, without further ado, here's the stuff you're going to need to build it. It's all written backwards. So, the hook is a Mustad 3407 number 1/0. The thread is Danville Flymaster 210 denier in white. The rattle is a Hareline small, encased in Hareline small EZ-Body. The flash is gold Flasybou, Pearl Flasybou, and Pearl scale flash. The tail is 4 golden badger saddle feathers tied in deceiver style with white bucktail. The gills are red flash-n-slinky. The fins are grizzly saddle hackles, long off the top and short off the bottom. The body is white bucktail tied in hollow style. The eyes are 10mm yellow sticker eyes. You could also use red or silver if you want. The underbody is black chenille inside small EZ-Body. Now, as for here's your Hareline small rattles. Now, to start with, you have to build the rattle inside of the EZ-Body, which is pretty straightforward. Take your small Hareline rattle and your piece of EZ-Body, and you just tuck the rattle inside the EZ-Body like so, and then paint that generously with UV resin. Hit that with your light. And you can trim these frays off, kind of clean that up a little bit. You don't have to, but okay. Then take your index finger and line the end of the EZ-Body up with the first notch in your index finger, then come off the end by about 1/8 of an inch. Chop that off, and there you have your rattle for your fly. Get that white thread on there. By the way, when it's done, it's going to look like this. Now you got your rattle. You just want your rattle to hang off the back of the shank. Just like that. Okay. Now you got some gold Flasybou. See, I put a little notch in the card, and then I can put my little fibers in like that. So I just get the 3 that I want, and you know, I mean, you know, you could use 3 or 4. You know, I use 3, but the thing is, when you double them in half, you know, you're going to get 6. So it doesn't really. Sometimes you end up getting 4, and you got 8. But, I mean, you know, that's all right. Just fly tying's about ish. You know, you got 3-ish, 4-ish, somewhere in that general vicinity. There aren't any rules. I mean, it's fly tying. Maybe you don't want to use gold flash. Maybe you want to use silver. I mean, this could be considered a platform fly. So, you know, you just got different colors of different stuff. Flasybou comes in all kind of colors. Bucktail comes in all kind of colors. I use white because it's a bait fish pattern. But, you know, if you wanted to use some, you know, olive on top or whatever you wanted to do, yeah, go for it. It's your bug. What matters is what the fish thinks. Not me, not you, not the other guy. That goes on that side, and then pull this flash over. Now you got pearl on both sides. Next is your golden badger saddle, and you want to pick out 4, not that one, it's bent. You want to pick out 4 saddle hackles that are about the same length. That one's bent. There we go, that'll work. And then you want to tie them in with the dull side out. Like I said, deceiver style. These go on the far side. Just go on the near side. You want to trim those off and just leave a little bit of stem so that you can make sure you got them tied in real well. Okay. Well, now you got the bucktail part. There's bucktail. Get you a clump. Pull shorties out. Trim it off square. And these go on the bottom. I always put the bottom in first because it's the more difficult. That didn't work right. You got to split those. There we go. Get a couple of loose wraps just to get it kind of secured. And then you want to kind of distribute it. You just take your thumb and kind of push it around so that it's even, and then lock it down. All right, and then these unruly fibers you can just get rid of. And you got your top. It don't have to be real heavy. Just want to make sure you get a good length. There we go. Again, pull out your shorties. You want to try to match that length up with the end of your flash. Get some more shorties in there. There we go. Trim that off square. Couple of loose wraps. Get that hair distributed around till it meets with the bottom. And then get your tighter cinch. Okay, and then you run your thread forward, and you're going to put in the underbody. Under the body is black chenille, and you want to pull off the fibers from the core thread just expose about 1/8 of an inch of the core thread and get it tied in. And then you're going to wrap your thread back towards the back. And then you're going to wrap your chenille back towards the back. It's okay if it gets fat in the back. It's gonna. Take a couple wraps to secure it. Trim that off. Now your EZ-Body. Your EZ-Body, you're going to measure. You want some sticking out over the hair because you want it to match up with the inward round part of the rattle. And you're going to trim it off where it's going to be right behind the eye. And you just slide that up over top. Kind of give it a twist as you're doing that. And then you're going to give that a whip finish or a couple of half hitches. And you're going to paint that back half with UV resin. It's okay to get some up on the hair. If you have any that's trapped, see how this is trapped by the bend of the hook? You just want to use your bodkin and kind of straighten that out. There you go. Now you want to pull back on these. There you go. That's your tail. And you're going to tie this back in. You want to capture the end of your EZ-Body. And you got your gold flash, 3 strands. Find the middle, and then that goes on the thread and goes down across the middle of the back. Now you got your pearl. Three strands. Three or four, whatever you gather in there. And you just don't want a lot. You want enough to suggest that shimmer that the side of the bait fish gives off when it's swimming. Okay, find the middle, and then half goes on one side. That's the far side, and then half on the near side. Now, if that stuff is like getting in your way, you can take a little paper clip and kind of put that across the body, and that'll hold the stuff out of the way. You can get your beard in, your gills. Like I said, this is red flash-n-slinky. You're going to want your gills to kind of go back about as far as the point of the hook. Trim them off square. Kind of push them around and tie them in tight. You want to end up with your thread back towards the back here, because your bucktail is going to go in next. That's too soon. I'm going to get that back on there. I was kind of hoping that I had creased that some, but I guess I didn't. Okay, so now your bucktail on the bottom. Make sure you got a good length, because the length needs to go back the whole fly, essentially. Pull your shorties out. Yep, that'll work. All right. Whoop, forgot to trim that off square. Trim that off square. Put that on top. Take a couple of loose wraps. You want to spread that, distribute it around. Then take your tight wraps. Now this is important. You want to make sure you got plenty of room for your head. I mean, not too much, but yeah, that'll do it. All right. Now the top. Oh, yeah. I got ahead of myself. That's the thing about these technical flies. Even the pros miss a step somewhere along the line. So it's important that you just, you know, maintain your humility. I forgot to put my grizzly hackles on, and I've tied like 3 dozen of these things, and I still sometimes, you know, forget a step while I'm moving along. I've been doing this 40 couple years, and I still sometimes miss a step. So, you know, that should encourage some of you out there that, you know, you're just getting started out and you get frustrated because you missed a step. It's okay. Just go back and correct it. But what I didn't do, I didn't show you how to measure these. So your long grizzly hackle that comes off the top of the saddle, you're just going to measure that against the fly, make sure that it is at least as long as the bucktail in the back. It can be a little longer, that's okay. You just don't want it shorter. All right, and then your short grizzly comes off the bottom of the saddle, and you want that to be, I don't know, about 1.5 inches, maybe 2, about that long. And then you match the 2 points where you pulled the fibers back. And get it tied in. Okay, and then when you trim these, you want to trim them off so that there's some stem and fluff, and that'll help you keep the feather secure. See this part here, I just kind of rake back. There we go. Now, scale flash. Goes in on top of that. Find the middle. Goes down the side. Take a couple turns. And then pull it over the top. Pull it into place. There you go. Now we're ready for the beard and the bucktail. So there's my beard. Make sure I got enough room I'll be able to put a head on it. Okay, run my thread to the back. I'm going to put my bottom bucktail make sure that that's spread around. Put my tight wraps on. Okay, and then I can pinch that back and down and kind of try to crease that bucktail so it stays out of the way. All right, now I'm going to roll this over and put my top on. I want to make sure I got a good length. Pull my shorties out. If you have to, you can use a knit comb and kind of just give it a couple of strokes. Flip that off square. I want to make sure that then that is distributed and spread around even. And then bring your thread forward. Okay. Now, to push this back, I use the top of a hair stacker, and you're just trying to push that hair back out of the way. Try to give it a crease. Bring your thread up, and then you're going to build your head so that it pushes these fibers back so that they're straight up and down. They're essentially perpendicular to the shank of the hook. And, you know, maybe pushed back a little bit. Once you're satisfied with that, give it a 5 3 whip finish. Okay. Now it's time for your eyes. Okay, so I'm using yellow 3D sticker eyes on this. So I get them ready. I just take them off the plastic and put them on my bench so that I can pick them up when I'm ready for them. And I got my super glue. Clean the nozzle out on the super glue. I'll start with the far side. Put a drop of super glue on there. And then there's my first eye. Oops, slid around a little bit. Okay. There goes my second eye. All right. I'm done with that. I'm going to take my UV resin. I'm going to paint my eye. I'm going to paint a little ramp down to the nose. Hit that with the light. I got my second eye. Paint that. Okay, now that I got my eyes on, I'm going to bring my top over. I'm going to do the bottom first. I'm going to bring my bottom up so that it stays in between the eyes. Sometimes you got to manipulate your fibers a little bit so they go where you want them to go. There we go. That'll do. I'll hold them in place. Paint some UV resin on there. Hit that with the light. to do the same thing with the top. The eyes are a little uneven. That's okay. Okay, now you don't want, you feel the front and see if you can feel the edges of the eye, and in this one I can. So you don't want to be able to feel the edges of the eye, because if you can feel them, then the water's going to catch them and it's going to end up ripping your eyes off. So you can just put some UV resin in there. Kind of smooth that over, and it helps to make the head a little bigger and a little more solid. There you have it. CT Rattlin hollow bucktail. I hope you enjoyed tying this. You can find this and other tutorials on www.custom-tied.com. That's CUSTOM-tied, TIED.com. Have a splash, don't forget the dash. You can also find these flies on the Custom Tied Virtual Fly Shop Facebook page by searching Custom Tyer 02, CUSTOMTYER 02. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I try to put tutorials of all the different stuff I come up with and all the different stuff that I build, so that my followers, you know,